Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How about yourself, Gaming?
I'm doing pretty good today, man.
So, Game for Hope, who are you, man? And like, I'll be honest, man, I have not heard about you before. I had a bunch of people message me everywhere.
While Apply made a video, I've already kind of hit the internet. For the last, I guess it's been since May of 2023, I started taking Overwatch fairly seriously. At the time, my goal was to go towards the Overwatch League. I was like silver in support at the time. I hadn't played Overwatch 1, so I was just getting into Overwatch in general. I wanted to have an ambitious goal, something that I could chase, and even if I failed, I failed. It didn't matter. I wanted to go as hard as I could, and I've done that since then. I started on support. I actually one-tricked Baptiste, and like, not just to glaze here, but that was largely because of the Unranked the GM you released. And
so you're familiar with my work, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
very much so. I'm actually working through the Unranked to GM Zarya you have from, I think it's a little old now, but it's still very helpful.
Okay.
I did that. I hit Masters 5, but this was in, I think, Season 4 or 5, kind of like amidst the rank inflation.
Okay.
That I've heard about. So probably more appropriately somewhere in, low to mid diamond now. If I were to go grind support again, I imagine I'd be back there.
Okay.
But I switched to tank. I realized that from a stance of wanting to join a team with all the disadvantages I have, I wanted to give myself as many advantages as I could have. And I realized that tanks were in short supply. No one seems to want to play tank. So I picked up tank, started grinding through that. And the reason I think the internet is so aware of me is because I've been plat for 3 seasons, maybe 4.
So
a lot of it's because
your rank now is Plat?
Yeah, my peak is Diamond 4, but
Okay.
I would say I'm probably a high plat player at this point. I think I've still got enough to improve that I wouldn't call myself a diamond tank player yet. Have been increasingly frustrated with my lack of progress in the last little bit, and I've just been doing my best to go back and learn, go back to the drawing board. And then Apply made a video. One of his viewers recommended that he goes and reacts to me. He does his thing there, and made some memes, which just sent things to a viral ceiling. And
so basically, like, you kind of played bad, I'm assuming, and he's like kind of memeing about it, or like,
more or less. I was on a very short version. I got a new account, played 10 games with Doomfist only, had never played Doomfist before, got absolutely dumpstered, and my mentality was shot by the end. So he flamed me pretty good, which I think I probably deserved.
Tilted, flaming your teammates, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we've all been there. We've all been there, But I have a couple questions that I'm kind of curious about. So you said that you wanted to join the Overwatch League. The question would be just like, for what reason? What is the appeal to play professionally?
It was because I've wanted to do it for my entire life, and for various life circumstances, I literally have not had the time, was my excuse for a long time. So I said, you either find the time or you're never going to have the time. That was kind of my mindset with it. I looked for the time. I'm married. I have 3 children. So in every way,
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm happy. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my family. Wouldn't trade them for the world.
Love
to
hear it.
That's a lot of why my progress has been so slow. Is because I actually don't have as much time throughout the week with all the things they're involved in, and I like to be engaged and involved with my family. I mean, I literally put somewhere between probably 6 and 10 hours a week into the game. It is not a lot. Now, is that the reason I'm plat? No. But it definitely has been a contributing factor, I would say, because I haven't been able to as consistently apply the things that I'm learning over that period of time. So fast forward to like the last 2 weeks, and I realized it was time I had to make a change. So I shifted some of my timing and increased the hours, and then spent more of those hours outside of the queue and inside basically just YouTube. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at now.
You also said that it became kind of viral through Apply because, like you said, you're well known for something like being plat for a while. But what makes me curious is how like, there's so many people like that, they're like hard stuck, they sometimes rage bay, whatever, they my team, blah blah blah. So why are you so popular would be my question. How did you become so popular?
Because I think that I land in a very controversial camp to a lot of people. Like I said, I'm married, I have 3 children.
Okay.
And seriously, I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves and look at the Overwatch community as a whole.
Yeah.
That classification immediately ostracizes me in a lot of ways. So that, and I talk occasionally, I talk about my faith, and that is probably the bigger one.
Oh, okay. So you're religious, or you're Christian, I'm assuming?
Yeah, Christian.
Okay. So you're Christian, and you have a family, and you have 3 kids. So okay, and now I understand why you're kind of like, you know, ostracized. Is that the word?
Yeah, that's a
I
good
get
word
it. In
for
the
it. Yeah.
Overwatch. Yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah, the conservative, blah blah blah. I get it. Okay, I'm now it's starting to make sense.
And now it's all coming
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Now it's starting to make sense. You know, like the way I like to look at it, the more normal you are, the more I think you're gonna be hated in this specific community. There's some great
There is
people in
something
this
to that.
community. There's some great, like there's some great people,
Oh, for sure.
but yeah, but it's like very specific camp. But just put it out there. Just people who are leftists. That's just that's just put it out there. That's the truth.
Let's just put it the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So,
Christian. You have kids and you have a wife.
Yep.
That's as normal as life gets.
yeah, basically.
So yeah, by the Overwatch community standard, you suck.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
And in fairness too, in the game sense, I've got some areas I suck in too, so I'm sure that's part of it. But you know,
yeah, but people don't hate you for sucking. I'm gonna be honest. You're probably way better than like 90% of the people who criticize you, anyways.
these rumors about me became so real to people that I had to address it. But people thought I was like, I'm dead serious. Brace yourself. People thought I was a Nazi, member of the KKK.
Yeah, but that's just Twitter, man.
That's
Twitter,
just Twitter. Exactly.
Twitter, everybody calls you a Nazi. Everybody calls you this. Everybody calls you that.
Exactly. When they don't have anything else to find on you, they're going to do everything they can to dig something up. And if they think they did, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it? Guilty until proven innocent. The backwards.
Yeah. So I mean, I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm gonna be honest. I really couldn't care less about like most of the people in the community. I mean, I think that most people in the community genuinely, like I'll say this truthfully, I think they're just kind of miserable with their life, and all they do is just, you know, ironically say they're positive people, and all they do is spread negativity and look to criticize every single thing. Because they got nothing interesting going on in their lives. That's just the way it is. I mean, I suffer from it. Everybody suffers from it. It's a little bit of a problem, but whatever.
Sure,
well, let's get into the gameplay a little bit. The thing is that you kind of have what I like to call a rainbow profile. It shows a lot of characters, even though you don't necessarily play a lot of hours, but you split between too many heroes that fundamentally, or rather, like fundamentally, they play the same, but it's very difficult to understand the game fundamentally. We constantly switch between heroes that work differently. So what I mean by that is that Zarya is a very immobile hero, right? Which means that when you're immobile, you can't compensate for things with mobility. So with D.Va, like if you're in danger, you can fly out. With Zarya, you don't have the luxury, and that means that you'll have to learn, well, in short, better positioning, how to distance yourself better, how to use cover better, etc., right? And the problem between swapping between many characters, what ends up happening is that you are now focusing a lot on how the characters play rather than how the game plays fundamentally.
That makes sense.
My general tip for people is to pick, for me, it was one tricking was a very, very good way to climb.
Yeah. And that was how it was for me with BAP.
Yeah, people look at one tricking as something that is bad. Now with the hero bans, I can understand the point that maybe you want to have a second character in your hero pool.
Yeah.
But for the most part, one tricking is really good because what ends up happening is that you actually learn how to play the game.
If I play Watchpoint right now, I play D.Va.
Why is that?
High ground control. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Just being able to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, your answer on paper is correct, right? High ground, D.Va can fly, right? But translation, it's very difficult for me to control the high ground with Zarya, so let me swap to something that is easier.
Sure, that's a good point.
Right. So so the short answer is that you're quote unquote taking the easy way out. But when you take the easy way out, you're taking away the best opportunity for you to learn. If you manage to play Zarya on Watchpoint Gibraltar, you're able to play it on any map.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Absolutely.
First thing in this coaching session, stick to one character for the most part, right? Try to avoid swapping in the middle. Starting out, let me ask you a very basic question. Do you care about the comp that you're running?
No.
Good answer. You shouldn't care. Doesn't really matter what. It doesn't matter what you guys are playing. So how do you think you carry Zarya?
An immense amount of damage.
Yeah. Short answer, yes. Good kill on the Hanzo. Very good kill. I'm assuming you're trying to bubble that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So from start to finish, let's start with the beginning of the fight. What do you think you could have done better?
Very beginning, I probably could have gone straight. As soon as the hazard was on high ground, I don't know why I kept shooting up there. Because
Right. There
realistically, I'm
was
not gonna hit
also
him.
there was also a moment where you just completely hesitated. You're like you stopped here when he was throwing that rock, that boulder at you. Like kind of paused for
Mhm.
a second. I could have just like ran forward, just took the space. There was nothing stopping you, just literally walking over here and taking that corner. But outside
Good
of
point.
that,
Yep.
so you got a kill, great kill on it was Hanzo, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Then you saw the hazard engaging your backline. You try to bubble, you realize, okay, it's out of my line of sight. What should have you done next?
Turned right back to his back line.
Yeah. So essentially, you got a kill, you got an advantage. What should you do when you have advantages?
You just push W.
Yeah, capitalize on these advantages. Figure out who can I kill next. Hanzo kill? Okay, boom, these guys. I promise you, Genji would have been dead. Maybe a Moira with the help of Echo, whatever. The least killable target is the hazard. So turning around to try to deal with the hazard, not a play. Basically, you had an opportunity to literally win the fight right now, and you didn't. Why? Because you're focusing the target that is not going to die into the focusing targets that actually will die. What do you think about this play?
It was better. I mean, I'm shooting a Mercy, which takes out one of their supports, takes out their healing. And
Right.
yeah,
Let me ask
I
you a
mean,
question. When you did this, so yeah, now you're Plat. Let's assume you're Masters for a second. What is the likelihood of you dying here?
very high.
Why
I'm
is that?
140 HP
140 HP,
and no bubbles.
and you have bubble, but you used it against somebody who's good. He just breaks the bubble, he kills you. Now that specific situation didn't have a lot of damage, but a good hazard could kill you. And so it was very risky to push that advantage. I'm not saying it's a bad play. Circumstantially, it was okay, but at least you click W.
Moira's breaking my neck here.
So what are you doing right now here?
Just standing here.
All right. What should you do?
Probably move forward.
Yeah. And where did you default to moving?
With the team.
Why is that?
Oh, it's just a habit.
Exactly. It's a habit, but it makes it a big problem. Like in the future, will be a bigger problem when you try to like play with your team too much, because essentially you boil down your positioning to their positioning. And the problem with that is that these people don't know how to position. And what you're doing is that you're mimicking the positioning of people who don't know how to position. So I'll tell you how I would play the fight. Instead of capping the point, right, what I would do is let them cap the point, already move forward here, send some right clicks, build my ult charge, maybe let them shoot at me a bit, build up my charge with a bubble, something like that.
Sure.
But essentially in my head, damage never stops. I always want to shoot. You said the way the Karen Zarya is damaged? You're correct. So instead of sitting on the point, going to your team, I want to do damage. My team can play on my directions. They can play on my tempo, as people say. They follow me. I don't follow them. Why? Because, well, you have to say, I'll say this bluntly. In your head, you have to think they suck, right? And it's not that you like verbally let them know they suck, I'm better or anything like that.
Right.
But like in
Right.
your head, you're like, they don't know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing, so I want them to play around me.
Makes
Because
sense.
even if you're wrong, and you could be wrong a lot of times, by the way, your teammates could position better than you, but at least there's a learning opportunity there. When
Right.
you walk to your team and they're making a positioning mistake, you're like, oh, okay, what could have I done? I just followed somebody else's instructions. There's no self accountability there.
Yeah.
So you see, so what are you doing right now?
Standing here, trying
What
to figure out where they're at.
Yeah, what should you be doing?
I'm standing and holding space, doing damage.
Yeah, it's not even about holding. You're holding space here, but the problem is that you're not doing damage. Doing damage here, you're gonna get a kill. Nobody can force a cooldown. Maybe she throws a nade. Maybe she throws a sleep. Maybe you can use the bubble and already get like 40, 50 charge before the fight begins. And then you start beaming. And then the next bubble is gonna be 100 charge. And then you have one bubble left that you can push with. Right? It's about also cycling your cooldowns. But essentially, your balls down. I want to damage. This was an okay bubble. Unfortunately, it didn't really work because he just put a boulder at a time. And I like how he's using the corner here. That's good. Okay, farm the bubble. That's good. What do you think about this?
I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest with you.
Okay, how do you think he could have gotten a little bit more value in this fight?
Probably once the hazard goes in, maybe I go past him, and because I mean, he's diving me, so if I just walk away from him, I can go towards his back line and do damage there.
Yeah, you're correct. I think there was a good opportunity for you to, when you see an Echo playing like this, by the way, it's almost an invitation to go forward. The reason being, what do you think logically? Your Echo goes in. Why can I get away with clicking W more?
Because they're all looking at her.
Exactly. There's less people paying attention to me. Essentially, here, if you click W, by the way, especially when you have a bubble full HP and double pocket, just walk over here. I think you can kill them. You can kill Anna at least. Or you know what? If you don't kill her because Moira turns around to help, which is not very likely because you can see she's busy with the Echo, right? What ends up happening? She's using an aid, she's using a sleep, and now she has no cooldowns.
Right.
And you only used one bubble.
Down cooldowns. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
So you should have just you see somebody distracting for you. Okay, it's an invitation to go in. Assuming you have your cooldown, you have HP. Here they use abilities, use bubble. Don't think you should have used bubble, but it's fine. Not a big deal. But here at this moment, you're focusing a full HP hazard that in a million years won't die. Instead, what you could have done, ignore him. Ignore him. Boom. Start playing around this corner, start beaming these people down. That's in short.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not gonna use these vague word tempo, not holding space, not doing this. I'm just gonna focus on very, very basic fundamental things that anyone can understand. Here, you just walked in, he bouldered you, good play by him. I can say you should have not walked there, but in it's just everyone is a genius in hindsight. It's not a big deal you dying here. Do you notice that you're taking 2 steps forward, you hesitate, you look back, and you're just kind of you have a lot of, you don't click W convincingly. You go, you look back, you destroy this, you reload, instead of just walk, just W, literally just walk W here. He shoots at you, great, bubble, feed me some charge, start being them around the corner.
Yeah, it's a good point.
There's a lot of hesitation.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest issues right now, is just being hesitant.
Here, this is you clicking W, great. But I have a question. You walk outside, right? Would you say this is a dangerous position for you?
I would say so. There's 4 of them looking at me, and I have no cover.
Yeah, it is a dangerous position for you. However, what helps you get away with that danger? What helps you with that?
The bubbles.
Exactly. So you have 2 bubbles. You can walk forward. You pop your bubble, right? And the question is, you pop your bubble. What should you do when you pop your bubbles? Most of the time.
Forward or move back.
Move forward or move back? Well, move back in one scenario. When should you move back?
When you're in danger of dying.
Exactly. Are you in danger of dying here?
I would say not. No.
No, absolutely not. You're almost full HP. You have a mercy pocket. I'm assuming there's also support behind you. No, just a mercy pocket. That's fine. So use a bubble. You can literally just walk more forward. Worst case scenario, somehow you take so much burst damage. Okay, you have another bubble. But what you should have done is push forward the bubble, try to beam them down, force them back, anchor here. But instead, use a bubble, but you start going back. Why? No reason. No reason. Now, they were going to win this fight regardless because of the blade, but you know what? Actually, if we talk this through, if you just went 3 steps forward and you start beaming them, you probably have grab here. In nano blades, you just grab him, and he's dead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you notice that they are the ones running your team over? It's like they dictate how you they dictate the pace of the fight. They're the ones engaging your team, and you're playing on the defensive all the time.
Yeah, now that you pointed out, that does make sense that way.
And why is that problematic? It's just you think about it, super simply.
No, they're going first. If they start the fight, they most likely will win the fight.
Sure, you can say that. They're also the one getting the value out of their cooldowns. They're also setting up way better. Their positioning is gonna be way more advantageous in the fight, and they're allowed to do so because there's literally 0 pressure. And there's 0 pressure is that you can always point out and say, yes, but I have an Echo and Soldier. Yeah, but in your mind, they suck. I should be the one doing the pressure,
Right, absolutely.
which you haven't.
No, that's a good point.
And that's why they're running you over. So let's see what happens here. What do you think about this grab?
I don't hate it. I mean, she just used Coalescence. I've now forced her behind a corner. She's low.
Sure, but assuming you even win this fight. I mean, I don't hate it as well. It's just that there's no one to follow up. And all it would have taken to deny your grab is to put a boulder. But even if you get to 2 kills, you still don't grab the point because they still have 25 seconds left and they can re-engage the fight. Anyways.
I see. Okay.
Just basically this grab doesn't win you the fight.
Right.
That's an indication of not so good grab. Is it bad? No.
But could it have been better? Is the question.
Yeah, but you see you grabbed and then what? Did you cap the point? Did you actually win the fight? Maybe you win, but it's your team doing the killing there. You see, like, your grab didn't really contribute much because they were completely out of the fight. It's just your soldiers that killed 3 on point. That's all.
Yeah.
What should you do now?
Take the space.
Specifically, can you point out where you should go?
Basically in front of where my soldier is off to the right.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you should go. Where did you go? To the point, to my team. Like, you're defaulting into that. Do you notice?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed it till now, but I do notice it, yeah.
Right. It's like you're defaulting. You're like, where's my team? I want to go there. In your mind, you should be like, let me go into the good position and my team will play there. And if my team doesn't play there, it's like, okay, I realize my team is not going to play here with me, so I should be ready to disengage. That's all. Most people, when they play in a correct position and their team don't follow up, what they do, go team, what are you doing? Why didn't you follow up on me? But like it's like trying to convince people to play around you. That's never gonna happen.
Right. I agree.
You know, what you should do? Okay, they're not playing with me. It means that my good positioning, it's fine. It's not gonna work for a long period, of time. Let me just disengage a little bit earlier. That's all. Essentially, it boils down to all you. See, you walked in front when in reality you could have just held the corner there easily. If you just hold here, if you don't walk to your team. You can farm your bubble here, you can farm your charge, you can do damage, you can block them here for extra maybe 5-10 seconds, which, you know, time is the time on the clock is in your favor because you guys got the point. So what are you doing right now?
Nothing, essentially.
Yeah, nothing. What could have you done? That could have been super helpful.
Just stayed on that corner, honestly.
You see Hazard is going on the right, right? You see the Hazard is going on the right. Which means the big bad bully is not there to kind of push you out of this space. Okay, great. Let me hold it. You have 2 bubbles. You can easily fight here with 2 bubbles. They have nothing against you. They don't have enough damage. They don't have enough CC to do anything against you. Absolutely nothing. So here again, you make the same mistake. Notice, you bubble, and then what do? You disengage. Use the bubble and disengage. Instead of I use my bubble, let me click W. And when I say use bubble and click W, I don't mean like run over here. I just means
don't run it down.
Yeah, just go because it's also works in your favor to shoot the bubble. You want to build charge, which is another problem that if you notice that you are very low charge most of the time, and it's because you don't use your bubbles to actually build a charge. Use the bubbles to almost protect yourself. So the bubble should be used for 2 reasons. Number one, the basic one is to protect yourself when it's dangerous, right? But when is it dangerous? Do you think it's dangerous when people are just setting up, walking from spawn, walking through chokes?
No, it's when you're actually in danger of dying. Like you're maybe half of your HP and you're looking at 2 or 3 of them. It might be worth using.
Right. And this, you're correct. And the second reason as to why you would like to use bubbles is to allow yourself to be more aggressive and extend more, because it allows you to go forward into open spaces in front of enemies without being scared to die.
Yeah.
Right. So
right.
I'd like to boil down this into 2 points that I'd like you to work on. This is what we're going to be working on mostly today. I'm not going to go into a bunch of stuff. Just going to work with you with 2 things that are going to change your gameplay. Number one, what we have noticed so far is that you just don't do enough damage. Why? Because you play too overly defensive. You let people have the space. They click W. You're not the one clicking W. Even when you use your bubbles, you're clicking S and not W. You know, you're playing a little bit too scared.
Okay.
And you not playing scared will usually, when you start making that shift, usually it will start with you feeding. But me feeding doesn't mean, okay, I died, I am feeding, let's go back into playing defensively. It's minor adjustment. I click W, I fed. Okay, let's click a little bit less W next time. A little bit, not by a lot, a little bit. Let's still push very aggressive, but not as aggressive, not 100%, 90%. I die again. Okay, let's make another adjustment. Now 80%. Oh, 80% worked. Okay. That's as much as I can get away with.
That makes sense.
Okay. And the second thing is just your bubble usage. And I would like to be very specific. Before the fight, your first set of bubbles is used to get yourself charged. Why do you want to get yourself charged?
To do more damage.
To do more damage, and which will do what?
Allow you to press W more.
Which will do what?
Kill them.
Right, kill them. But let's say, like, you know, they have good positioning. You don't kill any damage them, right? You don't kill them. They use cover really well. What else are you going to do when you damage them? Outside of killing them and applying pressure. Sorry, I couldn't hear. I was talking. My bad.
No, you're fine. Getting your ult up, correct?
Let's assume you have your ulti.
You're gonna force cooldowns. You're gonna force them out of position.
That's what I was looking for. Force cooldowns.
Okay.
You force cooldowns.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So in short, tank is a little bit fundamentally different than DPS and support. DPS and support are basically played the same. They played absolutely the same. The difference between support and DPS is support just has extra responsibilities of healing. Tank is played way more fundamentally different. You have to play more patient. When you have to play more patient, what exactly do I mean? You have to play, and you heard it somewhere, cooldown cycles, but I don't want to use these big fancy words, so I'm going to say it very simply. When enemies have no cooldowns and you have a cooldown, your likelihood of getting a kill significantly increases.
Yeah.
When you do damage, you force cooldown. Let's assume you're standing here, you shoot, right? This guy, whatever. He gets low, Ana nades to protect him, he uses a roll. You have a bubble. Can you push with the bubble?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he's down to cooldown and I have a bubble available.
Exactly. He has no means of running away from you. Gaming. He can't run away from you. He can't kill you because he has no cooldowns.
I'm tracking with you. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So you want to bait out their cooldowns with your damage and then use your cooldowns to capitalize of the fact they don't have cooldowns. That's how you want to play with your bubbles. First set of bubbles, let me get my charge. Why do I want to get my charge? So I can damage them. Why? So I can actually force them to use cooldowns. And then they have no cooldowns, and I have my bubble back. 1, 2, doesn't matter. Now I can play forward because they have no cooldowns. What is Ana gonna do to me? She has no nade, no sleep. I have a bubble. She's dead. And you already have the charge from before because you used it to cycle the cooldowns. And that will go really good hand in hand with you playing aggressive. Because you playing aggressive means you're probably gonna have very high charge all the time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So these are the two things that I'd like you to work on. So what are you going to be doing right now? You're going to log into the game. You're going to be playing yourself. For everyone, we got rid of the boring part of this. Both of yous are boring. I'm going to be honest. When I was a pro, I hated them. I still did them because, well, it's very important to do, to understand the mistakes. Sure. But yeah, it is boring. Now what I expect from him is to use the bubble, the first two bubbles, as a charge to get the charge so he can keep beaming. So he needs to play super aggressive now to get the charge. Okay, good. Love it. Another one. Good. And now he has to play passive to wait out for his charge. Come back. Now he needs to play more passive. And now when they have no cooldowns, he should capitalize going forward. Gaming, I have a question.
Yep.
There at that moment, do you think they had their cooldowns?
No.
Did you have your bubble?
Truthfully, I didn't look.
You did. You should have pressed forward that time. The first two bubbles were great. That's it. So now, when you don't, by the way, when you use the first two bubbles, so that's a mistake you made at the beginning. When you use the first two bubbles, of course they're going to be like Zarya, no bubbles and push, so you have to play a little bit more defensive. Why did you die here?
I stayed too long.
Exactly. So you use the bubble, and you were low HP, and you have no more bubbles, which means what do?
Need to back up.
Exactly. Why? Because I have no cooldowns to protect myself, and they probably have theirs. Nice bubble. Nice. Pretty good. No bubbles. Nice, good movement. Good movement around the cover. You kind of zoned yourself out a little bit there, but it's fine. You have a perk. Pretty good grab. Good grab. I like that grab, Gamey.
Thank you.
Use your bubble a little bit too late, but good kill. I like that you're being aggressive. Go, push into him. You have a bubble. Go. You have no bubble now. You got to get a little bit too greedy.
Yep.
You know how you could have potentially killed him if you didn't right click. You wasted a bunch of ammo on the right click.
Got it. Okay.
But also good push, but you have to realize that you can't be greedy. As soon as you use your bubble and you don't have bubbles anymore, you can't keep pressing forward. You have to play more in defensive. If you didn't get the kill, that's okay. It's not a big deal. I didn't get a kill, whatever. Let's wait for the next cooldown cycle. Careful. You're by yourself. Even with 2 bubbles, you're probably gonna die here. Okay. Good. A little bit too passive, but I like the fight. Held the corner, you kept beaming, kept doing damage, you apply pressure. Did you notice that when you were beaming more, what happened?
She used a cooldown.
Exactly, she used a cooldown, and then your Cassidy punished her for it. Get back to your team. There's no damage here. Nice bubble, really good bubble. No bubble. I like how you used the bubble there. It was really good. Try to get a kill on the Zen. Didn't work, but it's fine. You lost the fight because they use ultimates. I like how you try to kill the Zen, right? I like how you try to kill the Zen with the bubble. It's really nice. Didn't work, but it was really good. It's not every time that you make a good player, you're gonna get a kill, necessarily. Okay. Do you have an advantage?
Yeah, they're down 1.
Yeah. Use your bubble a little bit late there, but it's okay. I already started doing damage in advance. Try to apply pressure, try to force their cooldown before anything even happens. I'm gonna give you a tip here. Tresha's gonna pulse bomb. Be ready to save your bubble for it. For somebody else as well. Never mind, she's dead. No bubbles. Advantage. And you have a bubble. Solid push, really good. Solid push, really good. After you killed Cassidy, did you notice that you took 2 steps back?
Yep, I did.
No reason, because there's no one to kill you. No bubbles. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Play more aggressive. Good target. Good target. Really nice. Nice, nice, nice. Really good. That was a really good fight, Gaming. That was a good fight.
Thanks.
Love the aggression. Love the aggression. Horse recall, right?
Yep.
Great. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Get back. 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 So here it was nice. That's exactly how much you could get away with.
That was like right at the moment.
Yeah,
Yep.
but apply pressure. You have bubbles. They're low. You have advantage. Go. Yeah, leave him alone. Who cares about him? Who cares about him? Let him be somewhere in middle of nowhere. Who cares? Good disengage. Good disengage.
Yeah, it was greedy.
I know why you did it. I like it. I like it. It was not a right grab because it's like a desperate move before you die, but your team was there to kill us, so that situation was good, but generally speaking, it should make a desperate move. I'm dying, let me grab. Like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you're backing out when you have two bubbles? What was the problem here?
I stayed after I used both bubbles.
Yeah, but you also kind of overextended. So the hazard jumped on your back line. I'm not saying that you should have protected from hazard, but usually when he uses a cooldown, right, and you don't have charge,
Right.
you don't have enough damage to deal with it. So what you should do is, okay, they use cooldowns. Let me defend myself against those cooldowns and capitalize with mine. Basically, when they use cooldowns, you don't want to press forward. You want to kite back. Like now. They use coalescence, you kite, you wait. Let them use the cooldowns, and now you can re-engage with your bubble. Go. That's too far away now.
Yeah.
But you see, they use coalescence, all we have to do is back out. You have no bubble, which means... you have advantage, let's push. What do you think about this fight, Gammy?
I was not in it.
Yeah, you weren't in it. You weren't doing damage. Your bubbles didn't really get any value. Because you used them on people that were not really in danger. What should you be doing right now?
Looking to farm up some charge.
Right, absolutely. Okay, go, 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 go. Oh, no, okay, okay, okay. Nice. Go, go, kill this guy. Or... nice. Solid. Next guy. You got him, you got him, you got him. You almost killed yourself with that right click, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
You paused the shot. Let me click tab again for everyone to see. 26, 5, 10k damage in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you think about the game?
It felt a lot better, without a doubt.
Way better. Way better. That was as smooth as I expected you to play, you know?
Sure.
That was pretty
I
good.
appreciate that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that one. Yeah.
Like, we just went over how do you want to use your bubbles in the very simple, like in the most simple way possible. It's so simple that you might think, is he actually like, does he think that I'm dumb? Is they what he's like talking like that?
No.
but it really isn't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I keep it simple because the game is simple when you boil it down to very fundamental low pieces.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah,
things
it worked out.
And these things are what makes 95% of the game. These fundamental basic concepts. If you can do them well, that's what will get you to champion. I'm just saying in general. The 95% will get you to champion. What will get you from champion 5 to champion 3 into actually being rank 1 is the other 5%, the little nuances here and there. What did you learn today?
Just learn to be more aggressive when you have an advantage and just stop being passive when you have those advantages.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a couple times where you caught that habit of me walking back with 2 bubbles or high charge and 1 bubble and I'm still walking back. And when, it was pointed out, it was like, and it started to click, I think, a little bit more over the next little bit. As I noticed that habit, when we pointed it out from the VOD, we implemented it in the gameplay. I feel like that's really the part that resonated with me the most.
And the crazy part, it was just one game. All it took is one game for you to be laser focused on the low things that you have to work on. The two basic things that you have to work on to just put a performance like that. And I'm gonna be honest, you carried that match, by the way. Yeah, pretty good performance. Your damage, by the way, your damage overall can be a lot higher. Right? 10k damage is not bad by any means, but it can be higher, especially when you're playing against people who just have really poor positioning.
Right, right.
You
Because
know?
by nature of that, you can, as long as your charge is up, you can really get them too. So.
Yeah, but the damage is gonna naturally increase when you stop defaulting to walking with your team when the fight is over, or like going to the point where the fight is over. But I already think, okay, fight is over. Let me go. Let me go. Right clicks. Let me go shoot them up a bit. Let me charge my with my bubbles, charge myself my bubbles. And also, when you start utilizing your bubbles to charge yourself before the fight begins, naturally gonna have more damage. It's because you are maintaining high charge in the fights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
That all makes sense.
Yeah, you've been pretty pleasant. So I don't know. I don't know why
Like I said,
people are mad.
yeah, people are mad. I just read a book, and this is seriously, it's one of the most wonderful books I've read in a long time. It's the literal title is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah, I know that
And
book.
yeah, it's a great book. And literally, it was a kind of ironic because one of the things you're constantly talking about is literally one of the principles that is in that book. It's kind of ironic. But anyway, he talks about just taking responsibility. It doesn't always mean it's your fault. Whatever life throws at you is not always your fault, but you can't change that. You can take responsibility for it and adapt to it, or you can become a victim and you'll never make progress in your life. And that's obviously true in Overwatch too. If you just sit there and whine about your teammates this or whatever, you're never going to make progress. And I think that's primarily one of the biggest problems I had over the last at least 2 seasons is that I just kind of went into this horrible spot where I didn't ever flame anybody outright, but I was also pretty passive aggressively blaming the teammates and then not really taking any ownership of what I could have done.
I'm a big advocate for self accountability. It's the only way forward. It's the only way to be good at anything. It's the only way to improve. And the blaming your teams thing. It's like, because you said you're a Christian. It's like we're all prone to sin. But the idea is not about not sinning. It's about realizing that you sin and trying to not do it. It's about the trying. I wouldn't say you should not tilt because that's impossible. You will get angry. You will sometimes like, oh man, what is my team doing? But it's about the idea of catching yourself doing it and saying, you know what? Like I know,
matter.
yeah, my team sucks, but what can I do better? It was a pleasure working with you. It was a pleasure coaching you, and I think that you did phenomenally. And all you have to do is just focus on these 2 concepts.
Yes, absolutely. I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that, and I'll shoot you back a message once I've gotten some progress.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear back from you. You can send it within the first 24 hours. Let me know how the games went after. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I'll definitely do that. I appreciate the help.
Happy to help, man. You have a lovely rest of the day, game.
You too. Yeah, good luck with everything.
Bye bye.